Hello everyone, good afternoon. It is Friday. The weekend is upon us. Welcome to a special Team C's live stream. This is my sound check. I will be beginning in approximately 2 or 3 minutes. Let me know how the audio is. The music is probably quite loud right now relative to my voice, I just realized. So I'm going to adjust that. Okay. My voice might be a little quiet. I'm happy to pump it up if I need to. Let me know. Or should I say, doot, doot. No, that's the train. How do you, I don't know how to make that. Poor Gloria is freaking out that I'm making. Gloria's my dog. Maybe you've never watched the coding train before. Oh, hello, welcome. It's today's Friday live stream. I don't have an applause that I was going to play. I swear I had them. This whole soundboard is completely messed up, but whatever. Well, there we go. Welcome. Today is a special live stream for Team C's, a fundraising initiative that launched approximately 30 minutes ago on YouTube. I thought I would start 30 minutes late. Maybe got a chance to watch some of the other Team C's videos that are out there. I am really excited, first of all, to say a huge thank you to CuriosityStream. All right, so normally, during my live streams, I might be here talking to you about Nebula and CuriosityStream and telling you to sign up for those things. And you probably should, maybe. But CuriosityStream has been super generous to donate their sponsor time here so I can tell you about Team C's. So let's see if I can manage to do that. And then I'm going to get started doing some fun coding challenges stuff with shaders. So if I come over here, I know. This is the Team C's website. I think you can donate through a button right there on YouTube itself. But you can also donate it here on the website. It looks like the donations are up to $519. But I had to look at this so many times. I was like, okay, wait. This is in pounds, so how many dollars is that? And then I remembered, no. The goal is to remove 30 million pounds from the oceans. $1 per pound is the magic math that's happening in here. It's a global campaign to remove 30 million pounds of plastic and trash from ocean, rivers, and beaches. Team C's has partnered with the Ocean Conservatory and the Ocean Cleanup. All donations to Team C's will be split by the two charities 50-50. $1 equals 1 pound of trash removed, so every donation counts. So teamseas.org is live. Neo and Ichiro is asking, is this a team tree reference? Yes. About 1 year ago, there was a fundraising initiative to plant trees called Team Trees. This is the follow-up to that. And the campaign launches today, 1 p.m. Pacific time, and it will end on January 1st, 2022. So there's lots of Team C's videos going on. I thought one thing I would just quickly show you is as you know, all my favorite YouTubers are also on the Nebula streaming service, and there's a wonderful takeover right now of the Nebula page. So if you're looking for other interesting, educational, entertaining, enlightening videos to watch, take a look at all of these. The Law of Pirates from Legal Eagle, The World Needs You from EFOS Vox, Chords That Sound Like Waves, Revenge of the Ports. Look at all these excellent and amazing videos. Therapist reacts to Jaws. Okay, so check out all this stuff. Links in the description to this video, teamseas.org, et cetera, et cetera. I'm going to open up the the chat over here so I can keep an eye on it. And yes, as Joseph says, for one night and one night only, or maybe now we're just going to do this forever, it is the coding boat. There it is. And I forgot. I really worked really hard to kind of update all of my buttons and various animations things. So if I forgot to press the most important button when I said, and welcome to the coding train, the coding boat, Team C's fundraiser. Isn't that cool? Like the logo, it went in front of me, and now it's animating, teamseas.org. And here I am again. Boy, that just, makes me so happy. Okay, now what am I going to do during today's live stream? I have been, my mic is hissing a bit. Thank you, Yazreem. If anyone can confirm that for me. I swapped out this really old lav mic for this newer one. And I think the old one was working better. I also forgot to pull my sound blankets over here, so it might be particularly echoey right now. I'm going to just go move those just to improve the sound slightly. I still got to put my sound foam on the ceiling, but I'm just over here. You can't see me. Moving some sound blankets. I have these clothes racks on wheels, and then I draped sound blankets over them. Thank you for the idea from Legal Eagle, gave me this idea. Now I'm coming back over here. And yeah, so let me know about the mic. I'm looking at the member Discord chat over here. If there's an issue with the mic, let me know. I will try to resolve it. I can always switch to this tabletop mic if I need to, instead of the lav. Silver, welcome. Silver says, this is my first time watching Coding Train live. It sounds like a chord issue ground feedback loop. High-pitched, yeah. So why do I always have the technical difficulties? Why even on the Team C's day? I'm tempted I think something I can do with these lav mics is change the channel, the radio frequency that it's transmitting. Is that a thing? I think that's a thing, right? But I'm going to have to mute myself to do that. Let's see. Well, please bear with me for just one moment. I'll give you a nice little play of this logo again, and I'll be right back and mute myself. Test 1, 2. What's the chance that that improved anything? I changed what frequency I'm transmitting. So the sound was fine. Okay. Let's see. Let's put the music down and get going. So if you've been paying attention recently to my live streams, first of all, thank you again to Alethea and Eliza from Curiously Minded on Twitch, who sent me on this journey. Because you know what I have? Lots of free time, lots of extra spare cycles to learn new stuff. I'm not busy at all with any of the regular day-to-day things that I really should be doing. So I thought now would be a time to dabble in shaders. I'm not teaching any classes on shaders. It's not part of my required sets. It's not part of any recent playlist that I really need to get and keep updating. So I'm very good at procrastinating by getting distracted by things. So luckily for you, you're probably interested, I'm gathering, based on just sort of anecdotal feedback in shaders. And so I want to continue that journey today. I thought for the Team C's fundraiser, I would like to program something related to water and the ocean in some way. You might recall, you might remember me from my coding challenge, coding ripples, coding train. I want to find the page here for it. This was coding challenge 102 with a much more youthful day. Oh, you're not seeing my screen. I'm such a... So this was an old coding challenge from, what was the date of this one, I wonder? It doesn't say here on this page. We could click over to YouTube. What I did for this was implement this very sort of classic water ripple algorithm, which is only found on the Wayback Machine of the Internet Archive, because the website is totally non-existent anymore. So this has been referred to probably so many times in computer graphics and creative coding and pixel demos and animations. So I did my own version of it. If I were to click over to the p5.js version and run it, you can see it run here. Now it's pretty slow frame rate wise. It's working, it's running, but one of the things I always talk about is if you are working with pixel operations in the canvas, I'm seeing that there's still a high-pitched noise every now and then. I have a weird sort of idea that I'm just going to attempt. I moved the receiver. I'm sure I could also put it in input 2. Oh, I got to stop. It's fine. You're all managing. I'm going to manage. All right. Well, tell me if it's gotten better. What was I talking about? Yes. I'm always here on the coding train doing some kind of let me do this algorithm where I set every pixel one at a time to a particular color to demonstrate a particular visual effect. And I might do it in processing in Java, and it's like, woo, look at it go, look at it go. It's super fast. I would expect here, just to make this point, if I do download code for the processing sketch, and let's see how long it takes me to pull this up. Let's see if this opens. I hope this opens in processing 4. It may not by default. No, it's not, but that's okay. We'll survive. So far, so good. Yeah, Cat King is here's the only downside to the Team C's fundraiser. It's kind of taken, I guess I could have somehow dressed up as a pirate because it's also Halloween or something, but I kind of had thought maybe I'd do something for Halloween, but I think this is my stream for the week, so Team C's. So if we look at this, look at that speed. Look at the speed of these water ripples. Now, this isn't making use of any kind of hardware acceleration or shaders. This is just the fact that Java running, is a kind of, even though Java was often thought of to be kind of slow compared to something like C++, still having that kind of native access to the operating system's graphics engine through Java, closer to native access. We just have a lot more power and speed with doing pixel by pixel based operations. So, and I'm seeing in the chat that maybe moving the receiver fixed the issue. I do think that if it's too close to the Focusrite device that I have, it does cause an issue. And if I'm quiet, I'm going to make myself a little bit louder here. Canvas is just incredibly slow. JavaScript canvas to iterate over and set every pixel, this is slow. And I always, in a video, I'll just casually say, but you could probably use a shader with WebGL, run the same algorithm, and have it super fast. And then I move along. But I don't know how to do that, or I pretend that I know how to do that, but I'm not going to do it now. Who knows what I do? Today is the day. I pick up my train whistle for this, to gesture, where I put my donated money to Team C's where my mouth is. No, I don't know what the expression I should say is, but I'm gonna really just dive in there into the muck, in with shaders, and see if I can port this particular example, staying with p5.js, but loading a WebGL shader and see what kind of performance improvement I can get. We'll see where that leads. I'm going to be here until about 6 p.m. Eastern time, which is now an hour and 10 minutes from now. Let's see how this goes. About shaders, when I someday, part of why I'm doing this is I hope to, in the new year, do a kind of proper set of recorded, edited, step-by-step shader tutorials. I'm sure I will be drawing heavy inspiration from the book of shaders for that. I also, should shout out Curiously Minded, the Twitch stream, which is on Saturdays. Let's take a look at what's coming up next. Still me. You have to travel back in time, but I think you can see the replay on their stream. But there is coming a new guest and a new stream for their next one. But Eliza and Alethea, who run this Twitch channel, introduced me for the first time to shaders, and I just can't stop now. So thank you to Eliza and Alethea. And then, more importantly, the most sort of like important reference that I'm going to pull from today is this set of tutorials from Louise and Casey, alumni of the ITP program at NYU, who did this research project to develop a whole set of tutorials around p5.js shaders. And there is an example in here, this one, image effects. And I believe, and I'm going to hit allow to allow it to use my camera. I believe that this example, this effect of taking an image from the webcam and passing it as a texture to a shader and then operating on that texture in the shader to redraw it back and make it incredibly fast because of the sort of parallel nature of processing all the pixels on a GPU accelerated shader. I just want to throw as many technical GLSL acronym shadery language things out there as I can. But I believe that this is the key to unlocking the water ripple sketch. So I did a little bit, I took like 1 or 2 little steps earlier today to sort of see if this might be the right direction, but I'm just like, to be perfectly frank, although my name is Dan, I have not done this, and I don't know shaders at all. So this is going to be me stumbling through, possibly failing and getting nowhere, and looking quite inept at this. So let's just get that out there. We're all on the same page. You've chosen to be here. You can leave at any time. If you leave, maybe consider taking a look at teamcs.org. Normally I would just say, don't worry about watching me, just go. But I would like to encourage people to participate in this positive initiative to clean up the oceans. All right. So let's discuss a little bit about p5.js and shaders. So I'm going to go to let's leave this open because I'm going to definitely need to refer to this code. I'm going to open up a new tab.
Sorry.
Oh my God. My watch talks to me every once in a while, and it absolutely terrifies me. It just like starts talking. Sorry. I'm like, no. Jump out of my skin. Okay. So now with a p5.js, with shaders, typically what I'm doing is I am doing all of my drawing here in setup or draw. Setup, I'm starting the sketch. I make this 400 by 400 canvas. Draw, I draw a background. If I wanted to make that background red, I might set a color, an RGB color, to 25500, and then I might draw a rectangle that fills the window. I'm going to put on auto refresh so that it, as I type, it updates the code, but I'm going to have to run it again. We're going to call this shaders team trees. Oh, C's, sorry. And so now I've got a red rectangle. Where was I going with this? Yeah, now I recall. So this rectangle is geometry, essentially. And in order to color it red, I've used the fill function. Now, this is a very convenient way and quite fast way to fill all the pixels of this particular piece of geometry. But if I wanted to go lower level, if I wanted to go deep into, wanted to get on my scuba gear and go deep inside the engines of the computer, under the water, how far can I take this? I could operate a shader to work on every single one of those pixels. And the big difference is, even though we're not sort of seeing this in the code, a computer algorithm, an algorithm being executed in JavaScript to operate on every pixel in a canvas is going to operate on every pixel one at a time. We're going to operate on one, go to the next one. It can do that pretty fast, but a shader, which is operating on the pixels making use of the graphics hardware, the GPU, the memory, the processing power of a GPU allows the pixels to be operated in parallel. So instead of me painting every pixel one at a time, I have a giant sort of like blaster that I can shoot a color at every pixel all at once. That's the metaphor that I've kind of stuck in my head that Eliza said to me in very different words, and I'm sticking with it. So, I'm definitely looking for those of you who have experience with shaders to kind of help me. Oh yeah, the Metaballs challenge in shaders, says Lori. That is an excellent suggestion. I mean, if we could get this going today, we could get them all going. The Metaballs one would actually be easier. I should have, but that's not very ocean. Is it kind of ocean wavy? Maybe I should do that one. Anyway, I would love to like do all of them. All of them. I'm obsessed. It's my thing now. By the way, my daughter, who's 10, was like, but isn't it like shading something? And I was trying to understand, like, why is it called a shader? She's like, is it like you're in the shade? Like, she's trying to understand that word shader, because we were talking about shaders in relationship to Minecraft and how you can have a shader kind of texture a block. Like there's a shader you can get in Minecraft that makes the water very realistic. Water, I should be doing that. I'm not that far along in my shader journey yet. But so I'm really looking for your feedback and thoughts about how I am explaining and thinking about shaders, because this is essentially practice and rehearsal for me to eventually make sort of recorded set of tutorials that you could follow more quickly than my rambling streams, which have, maybe you enjoy those more than the tutorials. Who knows? Okay. Right. In parallel. So how do we do that? Well, in order to work with shaders in p5.js, I need to add different files to write the code for my shader. Now, here's the thing. In theory, learning to code a shader is kind of a language agnostic in the sense that the shader code is its own sort of syntax and set of functionality that you could then bring into any environment, whether it's processing, whether it's C++ and OpenGL. You could use 3.js, and you could put a shader in 3.js. I'm just doing it in P5 because P5 is the sort of primary JavaScript library that I use on the channel. It's one that it's a community and initiative that I care deeply about. But I would encourage you to think about, could you take this shader and use it in whatever environment you're working with? And you most likely wouldn't have to change the code. I was learning today that if you write shaders on a site like ShaderToy, they've adjusted certain things, so they have hooks into different kind of features and functionality, and maybe the syntaxes or names of things are slightly different. But overall, the concept of a shader is across languages and environments. But wherever you are, you will need both a Vertex shader. We're going to call this ripples.vert, I think would be a good name for it. And you need also can you hear the little ding, 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 ding? That's Gloria just going back and forth. Today I have the garage door down, so Gloria can roam free inside the garage. I do still need that dog cam. Then we need a fragment shader. So I'm going to say ripples.frag. So if the idea of the shader is it's this giant blaster that's going to send a pixel, operate on every pixel all at once in parallel, the fragment shader is where that really happens. The fragment shader is working on colors for every single pixel. The vertex shader is manipulating the geometry where those pixels live. And so in this case, if I'm, and I'm redoing what I did on my last stream, last live stream. It's getting me kind of warmed up here. In this case, instead of fill, I want the shader to apply the red color to this particular rectangle. So I will need to have is it P shader? No, I don't know. There's no data typing in JavaScript. I'm so confused. I'm gonna have, and I believe I don't want to use the variable name shader, because I think the function name in P5 is shader. So we'll call it, the shader is used in the P5 examples. Maybe I'll just call it ripple shader, or I might call this like text. No, let's just call it ripple shader, yeah. Ripple shader. And ripple, and I will load it. There's obviously you could load the shader asynchronously or in various different ways, but the most convenient way in P5 is to say ripple shader equals load shader, and then pass in as arguments to this function the vertex shader file. Actually, I have no idea which one's first. I'm just guessing. And then the fragment shader file. Okay? So everything's still working, but of course it's just the fill. Let's take out the fill. So we're waiting now to see this rectangle appear red. I've got to get to that stage. And then I believe if I just say shader, ripple shader, just like the fill is being applied to this geometry, now there's a fly buzzing around me. If anyone can like freeze frame the coding train and find the fly, hopefully it's not going to land on my head in a very awkward and uncomfortable way. Shader needs to be compiled and is language specific, just not associated with what happens on the CPU side. Yeah, that's a better way of putting it, says Gustavo. Thank you for that correction. It is like C code, basically. The shader is a language that you're writing. I just meant you can apply a shader in different environments, if that makes sense. Oh, right, and I'm going with the GLSL language. Okay, yeah. So there's lots of great questions in the chat, like do you always need a vertex and a fragment shader, or can you just use a frag? I think you always need both, but in this case, my vertex shader is going to be just like boilerplate sort of blank code that does nothing. And I don't know it off the top of my head, so I am just going to constantly be referring to, where am I going? This particular example. So let's look for the vertex shader first. But actually, I'm going to skip this texture thing. And so the first thing we need for the vertex shader is to, add an attribute. So this is now specific to P5. P5 has preloaded, or not preloaded is the wrong word, but like preset a particular attribute called a position, which I would love to like read the explanation on this. Let's see, getting started. Let's look at this page. A position. Like where will I find this? What are shaders? Setting up shaders in P5. A position. Assuming it's got p5.js code, a position. Well, somewhere it's got to like how to write a shader, a position. There we go. For shaders in P5, we must make sure one thing is always done in the .vert files, in the vertex file. The pixel must be told where on the canvas it belongs. This attribute is called vec3aPosition. You cannot change its name, and the attribute is read-only, meaning you cannot overwrite it. Attributes are usually named with a as in prefix a something. Okay, so this is also the case I remember in Eliza and Alethia's shader that they were teaching me with 3.js, that there needs to be this attribute position so that the shader knows what pixel, like where that pixel is, but they actually set that position attribute in their 3.js code. So presumably there's some way for me to do it in my p5.js code, but since this is required always, forever, this is like sort of pre-done for me in P5 itself. So I could just create the attribute. And by the way, let's follow this tutorial. The other thing that's important is to kind of have this definition here of what kind of numbers I'm using, what kind of precision I require. So a floating point number is like everything to a shader, basically. And lower precision is faster rendering, but the cost of quality. So we could try a high precision float, but let's go with a medium precision float. So, whoops, I'm going to also put that into my shader code. So this is just defining. I think this goes in both the Vertex and the Fragment shader. I imagine you've got to specify that in both places. I don't actually know, but it would make sense. I wonder what the error I'm getting here is. Like, what have I assume it's just I haven't finished. Oh, this is, so I forgot kind of an incredibly important detail, which is that I can only, I don't like to be trolled by the chat, and I'm very like people asking me to say their name or give them a shout out makes me feel very awkward and uncomfortable. But there is a chat message saying they'll donate $1,000 if I say the name P5 Warlord or Sarkar. So anyway, we'll see if that happens. Okay, but shader is only supported in WebGL mode. So of course, I've completely forgotten that a very critical thing I need to do is tell the canvas to be a WebGL canvas so that the shader can be applied. And I think now there's another error, which is I'm missing, I probably just haven't like put all the stuff. Oh, I didn't load the shader. No, I did. Did I do it in the wrong order? Well, we'll figure it out. I assume like eventually, not telling my name says don't go with mid-P. There's no reason these days. Okay, I believe you. Okay, I believe you. I'm going to choose to just believe the chat. And let's go back and do, what was it, high P? Yeah, I'm a high P. I'm a very high P kind of guy. Whatever that means. I am no medium precision fellow. No, I am high precision. All right, let's keep going through this tutorial. More bugs. Yeah, all right. So shader vert, yeah. Oh, where am I? Is this the right place? Is this where I was looking? I don't even remember. Yes, okay. Now, right, so I remember this from before. So now we need to scale the attribute position before it can be passed to the fragment shader. Here we're going to need to know about vector math. So if I recall this correctly, which I'm sure I don't, I think I always need a main function. Is that right? I want to create my own vec3 called position. I'll just call it position. And I want to take the A position. This cannot possibly be right. I should just read the tutorial. It's like I don't have this like loaded into my brain yet. I've done this this is like the third time in my entire life I've ever done this. So let's just keep going though. Let's look at this. Yeah, position vec4. Okay, so that's what let's follow the naming convention of this tutorial. I find that, and it should be 4. Position vec4, position vec4 equals position vec4. Oh, so what's happening here? This is, so I need to get the position from a position. Do I just do this? Position vec4 equals a position, which is a vec3. So I would say like vec4, a position, and then just add like a 4th dimension and add the number 1. I'm sure that's right. Now I'm remembering something here. There's something going on, and let's see how the whiteboard is going today, where the shader itself, the geometry of the shader is such that the center is 0, 0. And the left edge is -1 and the right edge is +1. Same thing from horizontal to vertical, and I believe the y-axis points up, which is another difference than in a sort of standard P5 canvas, the y-axis pointing down. So if this A position is a value between 0 and 1, if that's what P5 is giving us, oh, and I haven't come back yet. If that's what P5 is giving us, then I would like to multiply it by 2. So I need to declare it, make this position 4 vector from A position, multiply by 2, and subtract 1. And of course, I always need the decimal dot. All right, so I believe this is now me setting the position for the fragment shader to operate on and set a color. I don't know if I've got this right. Okay, I think that might be all I need to do. Oh, look at this. Oh, now I need to put that into GL position because the fragment shader is going to pick up the GL position. The vertex shader requires there to be a vec4 output called GL position. So what I'm doing in the vertex shader, the vertex shader could manipulate the geometry. So it can move all the vertices around, but instead I'm just taking the literal P5 position and putting it in the GL position so that I can set the color in the fragment shader. Is that right? I think that sounds about right. So let's put this in here. And I think now I have a finished vertex shader. So this is kind of like your standard boilerplate. In line 8, I need a decimal on that float. Ah, yes! Okay, I'm still getting errors, which I'm really wondering why. Okay, GL position is predefined, but I need to... GL position of vec4 is the way to output a vertex to the rasterizer. So the fragment shader is like the rasterizer. It's rasterizing my vertex. Are your vertexes rasterized? If not, call 1-800-WE-RASTERIZE for you. Maybe that's a 1-900 number. No, that's weird. Okay, cancel that thought. So now I believe I am ready to move on to the fragment shader. Now I want to, I'm a high precision fellow. We've established that. So let's have that. I need a main function. Couldn't I get no error? Why am I still getting an error? An error compiling the vertex shader 9. Okay, dimension mixed mismatch. Oh, no. Ah, this has to be position vec4. Sorry. There we go. You've probably been saying this in the chat so many times. Missing a dot xy in the second line. Oh, because I only want to do this for the x and the y? That would make sense. So that seems to make sense. So I'm only manipulating this scale change. And it's kind of ridiculous to walk all the way over here just for this. And how's the lighting, by the way, on the whiteboard? Better, same, good, whatever. I'm only doing this scale change for the x and y dimensions. All right. Now, your audio is capturing your computer audio too. Oh, it plays 2 times on top. It certainly does. It certainly does. I'll fix that. Sorry about that. Okay, I'm still, my open broadcast studio and audio routing set up. Everything is still a little bit in flux here. Please bear with me. All right, fragment shader. So now I have my fragment shader. And I believe if I were just to do something like GL underscore frag color, is that what it is a vec3? Oh, it's a vec4 because we need alpha. What's the chance? No. What did I miss? Undeclared identifier. Maybe it's like GL frag color. Ah, yeah. There we go. Look at that. I I remembered something. I remembered how shaders worked. So now, here I am setting every color according to its, just setting it to red. So this is the same, this is what we, half an hour later, I've replaced fill with my own shader. So my own shader sort of sets up the geometry in the Vertex shader and then sets the color. And remember, there's no for loop here because this code is executing on every single pixel all at once in parallel. All right, now, I want to be able to set every color differently based on where it is. So I think now it's time for me to create a UV vector, which is a sort of normalized version of the GL coordinate thing. I'm gonna have to, this is as far as I've got. I'm gonna have to look this up. All right, let's keep going back to the tutorial. Right, so we can make a color. I can set the frag color. Oh, right, and that kind of makes sense for me to sort of think of the way I'm doing this as to always have a vec3 called color. And there is where, let's make it blue because this is team C's after all. And then I can, and this should be vec3. And then I can, when I go to create the color, I can just add the alpha dimension across. Okay. Yes. So that's the next step. Thank you. Again, I cannot tell you how useful this tutorial is. Everyone should just, in addition to donating to Team C's, should send some good thank you vibes to Louise and Casey who created this wonderful tutorial. All right, so now, yeah, I've got that. One color fill. I'm following this along. Now, if I want to do a gradient shader, that's kind of texture coordinates. Maybe that's what I want here. No, I do want texture coordinates, but not yet. Let's do basic gradient. So position on a canvas is defined as a floating point number between 0 and 1. So that's very important. Where does that come from? Oh, that comes from somewhere else. Okay. So what I need now in the fragment shader is, yes, now I remember. Uniforms. So what's very important here is that the resolution of this canvas being 400 by 400 is something that the shader now needs to know about because it needs to map all of the pixels it's operating on onto this particular piece of geometry. So to do that, I need to have something called a uniform. A uniform is a kind of variable that you can set from your external code system that you can sort of pass into the shader. So the shader's not able to pick up the canvas width automatically. Instead, it's up to me from my P5 code to tell it the canvas width. What I'm going to also do with this at some point during this is give it the mouse coordinates. So to do that, I need to both add a uniform. I think I just do this. Uniform. Do I say vec2, u, and I think the convention is to do u underscore resolution. So I think if I create a uniform variable called u resolution, then in P5, whoops, I can say, go back to sketch.js. Let's move this over here. I can say, this fly is really getting on me. Next year might be team save the insects. I mean, we should probably save the bees. Don't we need to save the bees? I think so. Team bees. I mean, team trees, team C's. I'm calling it now. Mr. Beast and Mark Rowan. Team bees. Okay. I've already forgot what I'm doing. Yes. So now ripple shader, set uniform, I don't know, width, height. I don't know if this is right. It's not giving me an error, but I'm pretty sure that this is now, some people use UV and some people use ST, says Nicole. Nicole is here, shader expert. who I hear also does wonderful Twitch streams about shaders, Nicole Vella in the chat. What does ST stand for? I know UV came out of kind of running out of XYZ, and I think it's, if you go through the alphabet, UV are kind of over there. I think that's the origins of UV. I don't know. But what is ST? S, A, B, C, D, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, P, Q, R, S, T, S, T, U, V. It's just, they're all those letters at the end of the alphabet. So I need to set the ID, right. So I'm sure I need to give it like its name, probably U resolution, and then give it the values. And I'm kind of putting some extra line breaks here. P5 is reformatting it to like, it's fine. I can manage this. So I think it's something like this. I mean, I can obviously just refer to the tutorial. Yep, look, this looks right. And then I have U resolution. So now in the main function, and they're using ST here, right? The idea is take that XY, which is now the newly mapped frag coordinate between -1 and 1, and divide it by the width and height. That's to get the position of the pixel. Is a standard convention when writing shaders to call this variable ST. Yeah. I still don't really like fully understand like what the values are that I'm normalizing here and why I'm normalizing it by like width and height. Because is it already between -1 and 1, and so why divide it? But anyway, I mean, it seems like it would be the other way around. I need to scale it back up. I'm not really sure. I have to think about this. Do some more reading. But I think the idea here now is that if I were to say vec3, is GL frag position a vec3 or a vec4? I've already forgotten. It is, but I just want a vec2. And I can get the xy and the xy. Got it. So I want to get an xy, but that's definitely the wrong thing to call it. I don't know why I feel like using UV. UV is more comfortable. Important fix on the whiteboard. The screen space is from 0 to 1, not -1 to 1. Oh, that's why I'm multiplying it by 2 and subtracting 1? Because it's from -0.5 to 0.5. And adding 1? I'm so confused. All right, so there's a bunch of different screen spaces at play here. Maybe you can all help me this. And unfortunately, when I come over here, I can't read the chat, but I'll come back to it. OK. So I know there's my P5. P5 is between 0 and 400. The shader itself, I thought, the UV coordinates I want are the GL frag coordinate. These are between 0 and 1. Isn't that right? So what's this middle step where I'm getting somehow a position? And what did I do to it? I multiplied it by 2 and I subtracted 1. So if I had a range between 0 and 1, multiplying it by 2 would make it between 0 and 2. Subtracting 1 would make it between -1 and 1. So that's where I got that number. Is it because the shader itself is actually between -1 and 1? And this, what I'm getting from P5, is between 0 and 1. So do that operation to it in order to make the UV work like this. Is this correct? I mean, I didn't really put anything here. I thought I might need a sort of separate interim step here. But this is what I'm doing in the vert shader. Like I'm taking a position, which is between 0 and 1. And then when I'm over here, I want to, why do I divide it by 400 by 400 if it's already between -1 and 1? That's where I'm a little lost. Like if GL frag is somehow mapped to this, why does UV, shouldn't I be scaling it up and like, again, undoing what I just did? I'm gonna go look at the chat. All right, I see Nicole writing a very important, and the whiteboard is actually looking pretty good today. Nicole says, when you color your shader using its UV ST coordinates, you will quickly see how the coordinates work. When you color the shader by its UV location, bottom left is black, top right is white. No, what you get from P5 is from between 0 and width. Shader is only between 0 and 1. GL position is a 4D coordinate space, all components between -1 and 1. Okay, I'm kind of gathering. So I'm going to say UV equals GL frag coordinate.xy divided by U resolution.xy, right? And then what we're doing here is, to sort of understand this, is if I were to say, give me some red according to its x value, oh, uv.x. No. Because the value is not divided by, like, why is this not a gradient? Like, why is this not? All right, let's look at what's happening here. XY, U resolution, XY. This probably isn't right, right? No, GL frag coordinate. UV11. You have the blue. Am I just like, I'm missing like something really obvious here, right? That doesn't. I want to like. Oh, right. I only need 3. Sorry, I realize now what I want. Right, it's all white. Just bear with me. I'm trying to understand this. I guess the set uniform isn't right. Yeah, the set uniform must be wrong. Let's go back. We should look at what the actual P5 code is. U resolution with height. Oh, do I need to do this in draw? You'd think I'd only need to do it once, but I wonder if oh, I guess they have to set the uniform continuously. Interesting. Why did it not work in setup to set the uniform just once? And I don't need this. There, yes, okay. So I was doing it right all along. So now, is this precisely the middle? It's not exactly. So why? So one thing I think that is kind of off here that I probably need to address is I might need to say pixel density 1 just to be sure I know what's going on here. Yeah. Okay. So now how to understand this? I want to understand this mapping more precisely. So let's do uv.x 0, 0. Yeah, this looks right. That now the mapping is perfectly, so this must somehow be a value between 0 and 1. So if GL frag coordinates is a range between -1 and 1, How does dividing by uResolution.xy make this somehow map to 0 to 1? That's what I don't, 0, 0 is the bottom left. That makes sense, yeah. So if we did this to, if I took the y value, right, 0 is at the bottom. 0, 0 is the bottom left, yeah. That makes sense. You do have to pass uniforms with each frame. That's interesting to note. Okay. All right, so I'm going to come back to try to understand this scaling stuff more deeply, but I'm going to move on from that right now because it's 5:30 already, and I'm just like where I was, like on Monday's stream, like, and I'm redoing exactly what I did before because I've got to do this. You know, this is the process, right? You've got to kind of write the code, talk it through multiple times before it starts to sink in. At least that's my process. All right, now what's really exciting here, and I'm going to jump forward very fast, is in order to make this water ripples thing work, I need to have what in essence is like the equivalent of this, and where is that? This two-dimensional array, right? So I have these like current and previous two-dimensional arrays to keep track of all of the sort of height values of all the water ripples. Sorry, I'm reading the chat. I'm reading the chat while I'm sort of thinking this through, which I shouldn't. So I need to have this like data structure to store the height values of all of the points of water in this texture. So one place that I could do that is in an image. And so I believe that I can create this kind of like buffer or texture in GLSL, which is exactly what's happening in this particular example, by doing the following. So I'm going to make an image, just a blank image. I'm going to say image equals create image 400 by 400. Then I want to make another uniform, ripple shader dot set uniform. I'm going to have a texture. I'm going to have two textures. So I called them in the water ripples coding challenge previous and current because I need to calculate the next frame of ripples from the previous, and then I swap them. So previous and current, so draw the current, then this becomes the previous, and this now is the new current. Do the math, draw that one, back and forth, back and forth. So actually, I think I do want to have two of these. So let's have an image 0 and an image 1. I'm not 100% sure this is exactly right. And then I want to texture 1, and I can make those image 0, image 1. So I believe now, and let me comment out this texture. Sorry, stop talking to me. Let me comment out this image 1 for a second and go into the fragment shader and add another uniform. And it's like a texture. Let's look at the code here. I think it's called texture. Where is the sampler 2D? Oh, it's called a sampler 2D. That's interesting. Okay, I'll take that. A sampler 2D. I don't remember that. I was like looking at this earlier, and I don't remember it being sampler 2D at all. And I see that Ilari is writing an explanation. GL frag core is 0 to 400, and then dividing by resolution is normalizing to 0 and 1. Got it. Got it. Okay, I'm gonna need to return to that. I don't know, tweet at me later so we can discuss this, so I can understand it. But I got to move on. So a sampler, and then I believe that I should be able to, and let's just look at this here, like get the, so do I need to change something in the, I need to get the texture coordinate. So there's a new texture coordinate attribute. Okay, so in addition to the position, we need the texture coordinate attribute. That goes in the vertex shader. So we've got another attribute, and it's just a vec2 because textures don't live in 3D space. A texture is, by definition, a 2D image, essentially, buffer. I don't know if buffer means something else in shader world, but that's how I'm kind of thinking of it. I'm going to have to read back the whole chat from the stream later. And then we need to create, now what is this varying? This is new to me. So I understand that we want to do the same exact thing, which is essentially, basically, this is a way of getting this attribute from P5 into a variable that I can access in the fragment shader. So why is this called varying? Because by definition, otherwise, a vec2 would be a constant. It's like something that changes. Is that all that means? Basically the opposite of constant. So am I in the vertex shader? And then I just want to say v text coordinate equals a position. So this is me getting like the texture. No, not a position. Sorry. A texture coordinate. So what's the error here? V text coord. Oh, what's the standard variable naming that they're using here? Is it text or just tex? So let's go with tex. So just tex here. Great. So I'm good to go. I want to go back in the fragment shader to just having the frag color, everything be white. So I just want to go back to everything being white. Because ultimately what I want to do here is pull the color from the texture. So if I create this image in P5, like if it were the webcam, I want to pull the color from the webcam and set it as the color for the pixel in the shader. But I'm not going to I'm not going to do the webcam, but let's see. So what else? How do I do that? So if we look back to what they're doing here, in the fragment file, the texture is loaded upside down and backwards by default, right? Because, so vec2, oh, UV, I want to get the texture coordinate. Interesting. Okay. Oh, that's simpler. So in this case, in the fragment shader, I just want to get my UV is now, and let me lower the console here so I can see more. My UV is the texture coordinate. But that's not, but I'm taking the v text coordinate, yeah, my one, the thing that I set. So I'm creating this v text coordinate, it's a varying vector. And then in the fragment shader, I am putting that in UV. And then, now, so why do I have an error here? Parameter 1 is not of the type WebGL program. An error occurred compiling the fragment shader, vtext coord undeclared identifier. So do I need to somehow, oh, is that why it's like a varying, I have to redeclare it, it's varying because it's coming from the vertex shader? Okay. Nicole, these comments you're writing in the chat are so helpful, but I'm not able to fully absorb them while I'm doing this in real time, so I'm going to figure out how to get back to them. Okay, so I need to also say in the fragment shader that there's this varying variable. Okay, so now I've got the texture coordinates. So if I were to just do like uv.x and manually divide it by 400? No. Oh, this has to be, no, sorry. I want to have a vec3 color, which equals vec3. I mean, I'm just trying to understand like what's in these values. It's hard to like console log values. Is there a way to just easily console log values in a shader? That would be nice. So I want to see if this works. Okay, that's good. So these texture coordinates are already normalized between 0 and 1, which is why I don't, so the frag coordinate is somehow actually, I know you've been saying this in the chat, GL frag coordinate is actually this unnormalized values. Oh, we're making it. I think I got it. I think I got it. What I'm getting from P5 is like this range, which then gives me a range between negative 400 and 400, which I then need to like normalize out. Oh, I'm so confused. Yeah, zero. And then I divide it by width and height. Yeah, because I think I got it. I think it took me so long. I think what I get from P5 in the attribute is a pixel value between 0 and 400. Then I may turn it into this range. And then I divide by the U resolution uniform to get numbers between -1 and 1. Did I get it? But then why? Oh, and that's why I'm seeing black, and it only picks up from here? No, I'm seeing red in the texture coordinate, but if I go back to this, yeah, so why? Oh, I missed a step. I was close. It's just 0 to 400. I was close. I was close, but I missed it. Somebody draw me that diagram that I'm trying to draw, but correctly. And tweet it at me. Thank you. I'm going to get it. I can't be bothered with it right now because I got to keep moving. So back to texture coordinates. Okay, now the next step is, okay, flip this, right? That's fine because it's upside down. That's fine. No big whoop. That's easy to invert. And then create a 2D texture from the uniform, from the sampler, okay? Give me the, is this basically saying like give me the vec4 from here at this UV? Oh, it makes a, this is giving me the color in this sort of texture at this UV. That must be what this is doing. It's kind of like get. So this is give me the color at this UV, and if I were to just set the frag color to that color, it's all black because I haven't set any colors. So if I were to go into the sketch now, and I were to say for let I equal 0, I is less than image, pixels.length, I plus equals 4, right? Then I would say image, because there's 4 spots in the array, RGB alpha. So if I were to say image.pixels I plus 0 is red, then blue, then green, then blue. Let's make it blue. Let's make it a random value of blue. And then let's say pixels I plus 3 is 255, because that's the alpha. What do I got? Still black. Maybe I need to say load pixels. Maybe I need to say update pixels. Okay, what am I missing? Let's just very briefly draw the image to make sure without the shader. Okay, that's fine. So that is the image. I mean, it's off because I'm drawing it at 0, 0, which is in the center. So how do I get the shader to set the colors correctly? UText 0 is, whoa. Image 0. That whole time. All right, everybody, hold on. I forgot that I called it image 0. What a silly error. That didn't fix it. Let's take a look at this. Oh, duh. Okay. Oh, I can't just give it, this is giving it the brightness. How come I can't just take the RGB? This is doing like funky stuff to it, which is not what I want to do. I just want the raw color. So what did I miss? utext0 is image 0. Let's look at the fragment shader. I've got text0, vec2, vtext coordinate, uv is that. Give me the vec4 color. I'm using image instead of image. Utext, not text0. Ah, how am I not getting an error? Yeah, I forgot that utext0. Okay, and okay, so now, what's the error? Text0, oh, hello. Hello, silly me. Fragment shader. This has to be utext0. Ah, yes. Oh, now check this out. So if I were to take this algorithm and put it in draw, I don't really want to do this, but just out of curiosity. And let's make all these. The colors of an image in P5, passing that image to the shader, and then it's like tossing it into the canvas. Now the question is this actually any speed optimization? Because the actual math and loop of all the pixels is happening here. So ultimately when I do the water ripples, I want that math to happen in the shader, which should be quite possible. So I'm going to go back to, I think we're ready for the water ripples, actually. We are. We totally are. We totally are. Okay, check this out. So I'm going to do this, and I'm actually going to set them all to black to start. Okay? So all the pixels are going to be black to start. Now, I want to add the mouse dragged function. And in mouse dragged, I want to get the index value from mouse x. So this is the index into the pixels. And I guess let me call it just I, so I can copy, paste, and use the exact same code. And set it equal to 255. And I probably need to say load pixels and update pixels. I never know when that's entirely needed, but let's use it now to be safe. So now what I'm going to do is, and might have to zoom in here, I think that I should see, yeah, oh, no. No, that's not working. What did I miss? Those pixels should be, oh, no, set up draw shader. Did I miss something here? I should see white pixels as I drag the mouse. Let's just make sure that something is happening here. I should be looking at the chat probably. Yeah, I'm getting pixel values. So if I'm altering the pixels, why, and I'm resetting the texture, why am I not seeing them? Let's once again draw the image just manually. This should be image 0. Maybe there's something in the chat. Oh, times 4, times 4! Ah! Thank you, thank you. I don't need to do this. I forgot that there are 4 values for every pixel. So when I pick this index value, I've got to scale it up by 4. There we go. So you can see I'm now using the mouse to set values in the sort of shader texture. Thank you, everybody. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Times 4. Times 4. 547. All right. We're actually not that far away, I don't think. Okay. So I also need to have, now I need to have the other image, I'm pretty sure. So let's create the second image. Let's load its. Can I just make it a copy? I think if I just do, this is a little bit dangerous to do this, but let's try it. Image. Well, I'm just going to be totally safe here. There's probably a nice, and just like redo this code. Obviously, using an array would make a lot more sense. Copying the image would make a lot more sense. But I just want to, now I have both of these, and I can set another uniform for texture 1 to image 1. And in the fragment shader, I can have a uniform sampler utext1. And so now I have both of those. All right, so now I'm drawing little white things, but if I change it to utext1, I'm not setting the pixels of that image, so I don't see anything. And if I were to, in the sketch, just to make sure, set utext1 to blue, there we go. Okay, so I have both those textures. I don't know that this is the right path, by the way. I'm just going with what I think will work. I have both those textures in my shader. So now, what is the algorithm? I have to go to the water ripples algorithm, because what I need to do, and I should be setting, actually, this should be setting, boy, this is going to be weird. I'm not so sure about what I'm doing here. But I do think I want, okay, image 0 is going to be previous, and image 1 is going to be the next frame. So I actually want to, right now, to do what I want to do, I want to pull the colors from texture 1, but I want to set the values in texture 0, because I believe, oh my God, how do I do this? The other thing that's weird is I'm getting 3 values. All right, all right, I'm going to really need help from the chat here, because I'm a little lost. Like I know this algorithm. Basically, if I go to my code, let's go to my code. And this is what I need to do. Oh, there's this dampening, because I need floating points. All right, we're not going to have any dampening. That's fine. It's a start. So I basically need to do its neighbors. All right, so hold on. Just let me grab this for a second. Basically, conceptually, what I want to do is right here, I want to get the height value. Okay, I have, okay, this. I want texture 0 to be the color values from p5 in texture 0. And then the new color value, I want to set it here. How do I don't know how I'm going to do that yet. So wherever I am, I need all the neighbors. So basically, neighbor 1 is, so there must be like neighbors. Can I write an array of vectors? So like this would be left, would be vec2, -1, 0, right? And then the, this is so hard. Right, let's just do the left neighbor. I just want to pass the color to the left neighbor. That's all I want to do. We're going to simplify things. Then I want to, so if I'm getting it from the left, I'm actually passing it to the right, I guess. So let's pull the color from the left neighbor. So, so left equals left plus UV, right? This is where I am. Or I could say UV equals UV plus left. That's like, give me the left neighbor. So then get me that color from the left neighbor, but, so I want a new one, like UV, let's call this neighbor left. Can I just do this? So give me, and let's call this UV left, okay? So give me the color to the left. Text left, okay, right? Give me the color from texture 0 on the left of wherever I am. Now, how do I set the color? That must be something that I see here. Well, but how do I set the color of another texture? Oh, all right, I don't know. I mean, I could just color it. I can come back to this. Right, then, basically what I want to do the equivalent of is like, I'll just write this, like I want to say like, set UV somebody donated 1 billion to Team C's, I'm seeing. It seems crazy. Oh, Joshua Noble. I'm not in Brooklyn this weekend, unfortunately. But send me a tweet or a message or something. I'm sorry that I'll miss you. Okay. You're going to need to set text 1 as the render target and render text 2 with your shader enabled. That's what I want to do, Tasteful Toasty. I don't know how. Like what I want to do is say, set the UV coordinate of text 1 to text left. Right? This is not GLSL code, if that's even the right acronym. GLSL, graphics language, shader language, I think that's right. And then color is this, like, color is the text left color kind of or whatever. Use the ripple shader on an extra p5 graphics object and set it as a texture input to the ripple shader again. You can't set a texture in the shader. Oh. Oh, but I could draw it, and then couldn't I pick it up? If I had a p graphics object? Okay, wait. See, I was looking at, earlier, I was looking at Shader Toy Game of Life. There was a nice, I think it was this one. This is what I was looking at, which I think is doing exactly the same thing that I want to do, which is, it has 2 channels. And we get the color from channel 0. And then we create the color instead of, oh, maybe because there's like 2 shaders operating on different images and then they get swapped. Yeah, I really need help here. Isn't it, the entire point is to give this computation to the GPU. It uses a buffer. So should I be using a buffer? I could use a buffer. That would work. Do I need to go back and use a buffer? There's the concept of a back buffer. Oh, did I go off in a direction that I cannot return? Should I go back to Metaballs? Metaballs would be much easier to do. If I have to, I could go do this Metaballs challenge just to have a win. I think I don't even need this texture. I thought like I could create the texture that is the water ripples and then have a secondary texture that I apply. I mean, I could just operate on it itself and then apply it, and then like it could be like a sort of feedback loop. Back and front are swapped each frame. I need a buffer. I have no idea how to use a buffer. I was researching this earlier, and I didn't. I don't know what to do. Can I just do the Metaballs? Hold on, let's put a quick poll. Because knowing that I have to go soon and feed my children dinner. I promised to make pasta tonight. No meatballs. Although we're not like fully vegetarian, but switch to Metaballs. but I kind of only eat fish. I don't know why I'm talking about this now. Switch to Metaballs. Be stubborn. I'll keep going. Stick with, what is it? Water ripples. This poll is going to show up in the chat in a second. Help. Okay. Just set the frag color and load the canvas. Okay, hold on. I want to read this. I want to read this comment. Just set the frag color and load the canvas into image 0 after the shader rendered it in the draw loop. Okay. Okay. Crab cakes then. So far there's one vote. Wait. Okay. What if I used... Oh, I know what to do. I think this will still work if I use create graphics. What if I use create graphics instead of I'm going to create graphics instead of create image. Create graphics, WebGL. All right, I think this might be the path to victory here. Probably a terrible idea for reasons I have not yet thought of. And then the shader is applied to the image, and then image 0, draw the rectangle. So the shader itself, oh no, but wait. No. I still need an image which is the uniform to start, right? Oh, I'm so confused. Yes. Okay, hold on. I got it. Backing up for a second. I mean, this is way too much nonsense, and it might not be right, but just bear with me. I think I know what I'm doing. I mean, I definitely don't. Okay, right. This is what I want to do. I'm going to call this previous. Okay, let's keep my, I don't need the second texture probably, the second image, but fine. Previous equals create graphics 400 WebGL. In this sense, I don't even need my canvas to be WebGL, but that's another story for another time. Then I want to apply the shader to this graphics object, draw the rectangle there. Let's just make sure I put some blue color into image 1 because the shader is pulling the color from, oh, well, it did something weird here. Let's go back to what I had. The texture color is the UV, what is from the, what's it called, UText 0 at the UV. Let's comment all this nonsense out for a second. The left neighbor, and then set this was not a thing you can do, and set the color to this. Okay. So now, this plain vanilla shader, which is pulling the colors from the pixels, is the vote, I don't see the poll results. Usually it shows up right here in my, is it gone? I think the poll disappeared. What happened? Tell me if you see the poll. I think it disappeared. Vote doesn't work. Okay, I might have accidentally ended it. Let's try that again. I'm quite well known for doing the opposite of whatever the poll says, but I think it got ended by accident. It ended after one vote. Okay. Hopefully it's going to show up again. Okay. Now, Okay, I see the poll again. Now, okay. Now I'm applying the shader to that graphics object, and then I am going to draw that graphics object. Do I need to hit play again? Okay, what did I miss? Update pixels is not a function. Oh, this is, should be image 1. Okay, great. We're seeing it there. Whoops, what just happened? Received 3 arguments. Oh, yep. No errors. I thought I saw something when I did this. Yeah. Oh, because it's just black. Okay. So for whatever reason, the shader is not properly picking up the color. Let's see if I can. Oh, because it's getting it from text 1. There we go. Okay. All right, there we go. This is probably a terrible idea, but we're going to go with it. I mean, what I could do is just calculate the water ripples in P5 into an image and then render the image with the shader, but that's not giving me any speed bump, I don't think. Maybe a tiny bit, because at least I'm using WebGL to draw the image, but I might be doing that anyway, just splitting an image to the canvas. All right. Let's, I really want to do the computation in the shader. That's the point. Okay. So now, if this is the, okay. I got it. I think I got it. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I think I know what to do. I think I could do this with one image, right? What if I have the image, I start it, I do the computation, and I put the results onto the create graphics object. Then I copy it back onto the image and then do it again. So we're going to go back to my sketch. We're going to have only one image. I'm going to comment out the other one in case I need to get it back. And we're going to get rid of this one. The shader should then pull the colors from this texture. And I'm probably, let's not set this uniform then. Okay, and then just to be sure, if I give this a green color, great. So now we are rendering the initial pixels from here. If I were to drag the mouse, no, is that not operational? Why not? I should always be applying it to this. So that's a little weird to me. Now, why did I lose this? The mouse dragged should still work. The thing is, I don't actually even need to, I just want to understand why that's not working. Create image, load the pixels, set them all up, update the pixels. I'm going to really just get rid of this second one because it drives me crazy having this in the comments here. Let's put pixel density 1 earlier on and get rid of this. Previous is the create graphics. Don't need this. It is working, I just couldn't see it. Oh my God, it is working. Okay, it's just so tiny. Okay, thank you. It is working, great. So now, what if I were to basically say image 0 copy all the pixels from previous over. So now it should still be the same. Oh, but they're disappearing. Right? Because, ooh, now I don't understand the order of operations. But this is what I'm thinking. Like, what if I put the new, let's not do it here. Let's set some initially. So if in setup, just for a second, let's get rid of this mouse dragged idea. And let's just, every once in a while, I'm going to say like, there's if random 1 is less than, I'm going to, like half the pixels, this is like a really ridiculous way of doing it. You know, okay, hold on. No, this is a much better way. Let value equal 0 if random 1 is less than 0.5, value equals 255. So now this is giving me 50% of the pixels are on. Let's do like 10%, 1%. Okay, great. I mean, I'm going to do 10%. It's going to create a mess, but I can see it more easily. Okay. So now, dude, I really should go with the Metaballs, but people are voted for the water ripples. I don't think I'm going to get there. I mean, I got to go with something like I'm already past due. I don't think I'm going to get there, but we're going to try. So if this is copying it in, what if I were to, in here, very specifically, do this? I'm just curious. Like, what if I were to do this again? Like, do another, like, let's make this really 1%. And then, like, I'm just going to say, like, if mouse is pressed, like after you've copied it over, just curious. Oh, because it's going to reset. Yeah, I only want to do, like, I want to leave the old pixels. I'm just curious. I'm kind of playing around here just to understand what's going on. And by the way, I should write like a set pixel function because this is ridiculous how often I have to do all 4 of these. Okay. What just happened there? Oh. Yeah. There we go. So as I hold down the mouse, more and more pixels are set, and it's retaining the old one. Okay. So I think now, I just wanted to see that, I should be able to do something like what I had before. Like, why not add together my current color and my neighbor color? Like, if I wanted to get the left color, so this is the left texture, and then what if I were to say text plus equal text left, right? If I'm getting the neighbor, it's sort of passing the pixel along. What? So this, what it seems, I have a feeling what it's doing is this is somehow only if the leftmost one happens to be on, it copied it the whole way across. That's weird. Is it doing these one at a time? I thought it was doing this all in parallel, like, and then Is it moving 1 pixel to the left? It's not? Oh, it's not. It's not, of course. I need to divide by the resolution. No. Okay, wait, hold on. No. Yeah, I need to divide by the resolution, right? That's so weird. How did they get the neighbors? Okay, hold on. I lost. That's not to the left. Like one, let me just do this, hard code this. Did I actually get an error there? Hold on. What is the error? UV redefinition. Oh, whoops. Sorry, I forgot I had this here. Text. Okay. Getting somewhere. Hold on, Nicole. Okay, you should have permission now to post chat messages. Texture 2D, U resolution. Got it. So I'm getting right? This is what I'm wanting to do. So what I was expecting to see is just like the colors slide across to the left because it's going to pick up the left color. And then I also should cap it at 1. So sample the left coordinate. That's what so how do I get the neighbors in a texture? I'm looking for that link. Texture 2D. UV. Yeah. This is what I'm doing, right? Left. Oh, do I need this to be 0.0? I mean, I think text left, UV left. What if I just do, just for a second here, what if I just do left? Yeah, that's one, okay. But why don't they like, shouldn't this be like shifting over, like all moving to the side because I'm copying the new render? Oh, image 0 update pixels maybe? No. Interestingly enough, though, something is working in the sense that if I go to my fragment shader and have the color be added between, is there some kind of like max thing I can do? Or like min? Like whichever one is bigger, keep that. Oh, I really want to get, I want to do the components though, component-wise. Operator really only makes sense for a scale. Max works. So the min of 1, 3, 4, 2 is the lesser one, and the lesser one and the the lesser one and the lesser 2. So I want max. I mean, this is sort of silly, but like right, this is really, I mean, this should be the same. Maybe the copying, book of shaders, glossary, okay. And maybe the copying is not actually working. I don't understand the order of operations. So when I apply the shader, can I just update the image with the new thing that I've drawn, and then we'll apply the shader again? I really think like, okay, texture, coordinate, what is this called here in my fragment shader? I'm using the texture coordinate, text coordinate neighbor, GLSL. Bleh. Texture size, offset, yeah. This sampler 2D, the texture map, the offset. Is there a texture offset function? Ah, texture offset. There's a texture offset function? Well, that's convenient. Well, nobody told me that. I'm not swapping the images. I was just trying to swap it by copying it unto itself. Yeah, I believe it needs a second pass. First of all, though, let's use this texture offset function. So I'm getting a 2D sampler, the position, and the offset, okay? So hold on. Where was I? Nobody? This is new that I'm learning. So texture left is texture offset, vec left. Is this not available to me here? Is it WebGL? Oh. Can you have the shader output the UVs? Did I spell? Hi, Lee, I don't know. I'm not doing this right. I failed. As I said at the beginning, this is a total failure because I don't know enough. I thought I'd be able to figure this out, and I really have. So okay, so is texture offset not supported by WebGL? WebGL 2? When WebGL 2 seems like from a while ago, though. Is it texture underscore offset? No, okay. Let's go back to my manual offsetting. Right? I'm getting the left pixel and this pixel, and doing the max and setting the color. Once it does that, I don't understand how to animate, I think. P5 doesn't support WebGL 2. Usually OpenGL draws when the frame is swapped at the end. Oh. Oh. Finish. Oh, I see. That makes sense. All right, let's try this. Do I have a mouse pressed function? I don't think I need that. All right. So now, you can see, though, that it's drawing them both next to each other, right? Look at that. So I've definitely got something right in the sense that if I just use the raw texture color, look at these. One dot everywhere. Begin draw, end draw. If I use the max of either of them, every single one of these is 2 pixels wide. So I am doing something right. I am doing something right. I just can't get it to do the next one. Right? Why won't it do the next one? So begin draw. Oh my goodness. Well, no. Is begin draw not a function? I don't know how to, but it's not this that I want to. Do I need like a whole separate graphics instance? Oh, did I lose the copy thing? I lost the copy thing. Hold on. It hasn't redrawn it yet before it copied. But no, I'm copying it from previous. So it should be fine. No. No. All right, I'm stuck. Redraw. Redraw? I really want to go to the Metaballs. I had to look at my text message. How bad am I? What's going on here? Oh. Oh, I have to go, everybody. I think things are urgently falling apart. I'm going to come back. I'm going to come back. Oh, this is sad that this is the end. Oh no, whoops, I hit the wrong. Team C's, everybody. I'm going to come back. I'm going to sort this out and I'm going to come back. Stay tuned to my Twitter. I really have to go. I mean, I okay. When will I be back? I don't know. I'm sorry, everybody. There's so many people watching, too. I really want to, like, what if I just try to do the Metaballs in the next 10 minutes? Okay. All right. Everybody, we need a win. This is probably going to, like, make things worse. But I'm going to put this to the side. I'm going to do some more research. I have to think about this more. Nicole and other people in the chat, let's try to do the Metaballs. I mean, they're kind of wavy like the ocean. Okay. Let's get the code for this. Okay, right? Look how low resolution this has to be. There's no reason why we shouldn't be able to. First of all, I'm going to do this with just one. Okay, which I know is like sort of defeating the purpose in a way, but this is what we need to do in. Oh my God, I don't think I can do this. The good news is, okay, duplicate this. I'm going to get rid of all these textures. We don't need the textures. The texture coordinate is going to make things much simpler. We just need the UV coordinate. We don't need this left stuff. We're going back to what I used to be doing. Vec3 color equals vec3 UV comma 1. We're going to set the frag to the color. This we don't need the texture coordinate, the varying. We don't need this. Okay, what am I missing here? Equals. I got a syntax error. You guys are really got to help me with this to make this happen fast. Fragment, U resolution, GLFrag core 1.0. What am I missing here? What am I missing? Dimension mismatch. Okay, hold on. Let's go back to sketch.js. Get rid of this. All this image nonsense. All these interesting ideas. Gone to the wayside. Shader. Ripple shader. And then rectangle with height. Let's get back to the start of things. Okay, what am I missing? Vec4 color. Thank you. There's like a weird equals error somewhere. Fragment shader error equal dimension mismatch. Vec2 UV. Vec2 use resolution. Vec4, okay. Color is a Vec4, frag color is a Vec4. Vec3, Vec4. Vec4 versus XY, GL position. What did I? Oh boy, we're not going to get very far if I can't fix this. Constructor, not enough data provided for construction. Oh my God. Okay. That's fine. Oh, it's a vec2. Oh my God. I'm just like, oh my goodness. Silly me, silly me, silly me. Okay. We're back in business, people. Okay. Got it, got it, got it, got it, got it. Okay. So now, Metaballs. So I'm going to just use this idea of a blob, which is, I'm closing this tab. This is speed coding. Create file, blob.js. Paste this in here. I am going to go here, and we're just going to have two blobs. There's got to be an array. Oh, no, I can pass arrays. I can pass arrays to a shader, probably, right? But I don't know how to do that. So, what did I click on here? I don't know what I clicked on here to get this strange comment in here, but such is life. Am I in? Is this the fragment shader? No, this is. So in this sketch, we're going to create just two blobs. Okay, yeah. I'm actually just going to do one to start, okay? So come back over here. Come back over here. I'm going to say let blob 0. Blob 0 equals a new blob, random width, random height. And we're going to have a, in the fragment shader, uniform vec2 blob 0. And basically, where am I? And index.html needs the blob. Jeez, what is going on? I'm doing this way. Random is not defined. What is even going on? Ah! The blob.js. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. New uniform blob to shaper, then calculate what? Ending with V, GL uniform ending with V for vector. What is going on here? Okay. Take out those comments. What's going on here? What? Losing my mind here. All right, I'm going to just do something very silly for a second and take this and put it here. Blob has already been declared. What? I'm like, this is crazy. We're going to do create vector. Okay? Okay, we're just going to use a vector object. I don't know what's going on. I'm really losing my mind. I'm really losing my mind here. This is like, it's such a disaster. Import blob after importing p5. Make it the second import? Oh, is that really, am I like, was it as simple? That doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. All right, this is what I want to do. Something crazy is going on there that I cannot explain. So then, what I want to do is ripple shader set uniform u blob 0 with blob 0.x, blob 0.y. Okay? I don't know why that blob class wasn't working. So now I should be putting the blob's location into this uniform blob 0. Then blob uv equals blob 0.xy divided by u resolution.xy. There should be a distance function. Is it called distance? uv blob uv. The color should be vec4 distance, distance, distance. Well, the color should be vec3 distance, color 1.0. What did I get wrong here? Parameter 1 is not the vec2 blob uv. I've made things worse. This is like the saddest day of my life. U blob 0. And in frag, it is U blob 0. U blob 0. Blob UV. And sketch.js, U blob 0. Line 12 in shader, vec4. vec3. There we go. There we go. Okay. There we go. Metaballs. We're in business. Okay. Sketch, particle. Then I'm going to write update. Okay. So the blob should be moving, right? Oh, it is. Just very slowly. So let's make the blob at 0, 0, and then have it be moving 1, 1. Okay. So we should see this moving across. Okay, awesome. Moving across. There we go. Okay. Oh, blob is a class from JavaScript. That's why you're getting weird errors with the blob class. Yes, that's definitely the issue. But how come I didn't have that problem before? I'll never know why. I don't care. I'm doing it this way. It's a particle. Okay. So now we just need to have it bounce. Okay, This is some very fast bouncing ball logic. Okay, we should see it kind of like, and I think, did I lose my, okay, that doesn't matter. Did I lose my pixel density issue? Yeah, pixel density 1. Okay, great. Now let's go to the frag shader. And let's have, I don't actually care about flipping it. I'm going to leave it. Let's have that distance be like, the distance is some number between, let's just do 1 minus. That's sort of silly, but, 1.0. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. So it's brighter near there. So now I just need to have like 2 of these, which is, this is very silly what I'm doing. So, and there's got to be a way, this is going to get so improved after I leave later tonight. I will tweet it, leave a link in the description. I don't know. Blob1 equals 100, comma 50. Let's also do another uniform, blob1. I mean, this is a ridiculous thing that I'm doing here, but it's going to work in a sort of silly way. So we have ublob1. We need to update blob1. And now I just need in here to basically do the Metaballs algorithm with 2 different blobs. I don't know how to use arrays to the uniform, so we'll do that another time. I mean, I kind of have an idea of how I would do it, but I'm 45 minutes over, but I'm like 10 minutes, like 5 minutes over the extra 10 minutes I got. But I've got to get this. Okay, so let's go to the code, and now the math is the square root. Do I have everything like, that's weird. The difference is x minus, oh, that's the given pixel. The difference, got it. Okay, so we need to sum. All right, we're going to do this algorithm here. Here we go, everybody. Come back to me, fragment shader. Oh, I'm so there. So basically, I need to have a sum equals 0. Then I need to have a vec2 difference equal the uv minus blob 0 xy, right? So I want to look at the difference. Then sum plus, okay, the blob should have a radius. So we're just going to arbitrarily make up a radius. They're each going to be 0.1. I don't know if that makes sense. That's pretty large. The difference is these 2 things. So now d equals, is square root a function? Is square root a function in shaders? We're about to find out. It looks like it is. Square root of uv.x times uv.x. I'm sure, there's a length. Isn't there a length? Isn't it just this? And then sum, so this is diff 0 and d0, sum plus equal 10 times r divided by d0. Okay. Okay, what's wrong here? Float, 0.0, okay. No? Diff 0. No? D0. 10.0. No. Yes, length. So what's wrong here? UV xy minus blob 0. Ah! Blob 0 UV. That's what I want. Blob 0 UV. Okay. Blob 0 UV is U blob 0 UV xy. Oh, okay. Don't need that. Okay. Okay, great. So I've basically got the distance. Oh, I could have just done that with the distance function, but fine. No big whoop. Now, we're going to do the distance. And of course, I need to use an array and a loop. Diff1 UV, blob1 UV. Vec2 blob1 UV is U blob1, okay? What am I missing here? Did I forget to set the uniform? U blob1? So close, right? Ah! Okay. Now the question is, now, I can't tell if this is sum. Okay. Don't scale up. Oh yeah. Metaballs! Yes, I did. I did it. Okay, hold on everybody. I knew I could win this. I knew I could win this. Ah, yes. Hold on. Oh, this is like not a relevant file anymore. Delete that file. Yes, something happened after all of this. Oh my God, I'm so happy. Even though I'm gonna have to like, I don't know. Okay. I mean, there's just so much more. Okay, it's only 2. They have the same radius. I'm not doing color yet, but oh, that's so satisfying. Like I can make them bigger. Oh, look at that. Oh, look at this. Well, let's see. How far can we push this? Because just to be clear about this, just to be clear why we're here, even though I've got to go. It's a little slow, but I think it's just slow because the things are moving slow. Because, yeah. Yeah, look at this. Hold on. Just really want this to demonstrate what I want to. There we go. Okay, look at this. Look how fast that's running. Just to show you. I should have just started with this. Metaballs. Just if I go back to my Metaballs code in p5.js, right? This is 400 by 200. If I just make this 400 by 400, this is raw pixel operations. If I make this 800 by 800, I mean, this runs so slow. So now, just to prove the point, they're telling me, Bruno's saying make it full screen. I've got to get out of here, but I'm just so happy that this worked. No, the thing is, like, it needs to be a square. I mean, I could have it not be a square. I'm not doing anything to account for non-square sizes, but let's just do it anyway. Window width, window height, team C's, everybody. Team C's, everybody. I've got to go. Goodbye, everybody. As always, I always forget the this dot, this dot, this dot, this dot. Hope you enjoyed this live stream. Don't forget about don't forget about Team C's. I've got to get out of here. This was kind of a failure, but something happened, and I wish I had time to really say goodbye adequately. But I'm just going to shut this stream down. And I will see you next time on the Coding Train. Stay tuned to my Twitter at Shipman, or join the Discord. I'll try to post updates to this and see where we get. You can find the code at Coding Train Sketch 6UE2SZROU. The E is capitalized and so is the ZROU. The first U is lowercase. I'm sure you'll have no problem finding that. See you next time. Happy Team C's, everybody. Support Team C's. Goodbye. This dot, this dot, this dot. Never forget this dot. I'm going to do the this dot, this dot.